Storytime is meant to adapt the stories, mostly, of great unadapted, old and forgotten comics from the past. I combine voice acting with narration to abridge the work as much as possible without lessening its impact, and to bring the stories to life the best way I can. Please enjoy. Hi, I'm Nick, and welcome to the Fusion Space for today's episode of Storytime, The Final Night. Now this isn't technically a Christmas story, but it sort of feels like one to me, as it's snowy and cold when the sun is swallowed slowly by a sun-eater, causing the earth to slowly freeze, and it has a sort of a miracle for an ending. So it's close enough for me. The thing is, all the actual Christmas comics I know are sort of goofy because they usually involve Santa, and I don't know any good enough to do an episode on. But I'd been planning to do The Final Night when winter came along, even though I think the story takes place in summer. So here we are. The Final Night was the crossover event for 1996, and it directly follows from the events of Zero Hour, so I hope you watched my Zero Hour video, or at least know the basics, particularly what happened to Green Lantern Hal Jordan, known at this time as Parallax, because he factors heavily into the story. The sun is swallowed by a sun-eater, a huge alien entity that does what it says on the label. It eats suns. It's not some villain's plot, it's just a natural event in the cosmos and bad luck for Earth, whose 6 billion inhabitants must now cope with the freezing climate and seemingly endless night, as the heroes of the world seem completely helpless against this cosmic threat. Don't expect any big fight scenes in this event comic, a true rarity for the form. Instead, the heroes, try as they might, will be hard-pressed just to help people survive and weather the storm, and try to keep hope alive when all hope seems lost. Come and see how humanity survived what everyone thought would be the final night. The Final Night. Prologue. We join the Titan Starfire among her own people, the Tamaranians, as their empire prepares for war.
Only a warrior's race such as my own would have settled the planet now named New Tamaran. Harsh and desolate, its blinding sun bore down on it without mercy. The ground was baked to stone. Coal was virtually unknown. Until recently.
Under attack by an unseen enemy who robs us of our light and heat.
How do we know that isn't our new homeworld's natural order, Faison? And how can you doubt your husband, dear sister, when his men captured a spy whose ship landed in the foothills just as this night descended?
Here's the infiltrator, Queen Commander. She put up quite a fight to keep these trinkets. Weapons, no doubt. Speak, Dark One. Tell us about our foe, and you will know Tamaranian mercy.
With sudden desperation, the stranger twisted free. A Tamaranian would rather die fighting than aid an enemy.
A guard prevents the alien intruder from reaching for her device.
But in her eyes, I saw something different. Something I hadn't seen since my days on Earth, when I was not only a princess, but a titan called Starfire. Compassion for a spy, Coriander? I assure you she is fine and will tell us all we need to know, even if it is with a dying breath. While I believe that our Twilight Stranger is somehow connected to this final night that has enveloped New Tamaran, I cannot agree with the others that she is a spy. From my experience on Earth as Starfire, it is clear she is intent on giving information, not taking it. And I wonder, was the weapon the guards destroyed actually her translator? If only I could understand her. If only there was more.
Time to study your proposal, Queen Commander. Stripping part of the fleet to jury-rig a thermal tap generator. The result would be unstable at best.
We need heat and power in order to fight back, Chief Scientist. You have your orders, and 2 days. And I have a war council to attend.
After a great battle, Starfire returns to the prison.
My husband is dead. New Tamaran has lost a great warrior. Many great warriors. Lost in an effort to destroy an off-world invader, these stones mark only their memories. A cold reminder that if nothing is done, this may well be New Tamaran's final night. Since the disaster, my sister, the Queen, has forgotten how to lead, but not how to hate. As their princess, however, I know that retribution will not save our people, and I know what must be done.
I'm not as gullible as my sister, Spy. My guess is you are fluent in our tongue. You will tell us everything, and wish you had told us in time to save Faison. The pain you will feel is the pain you have caused.
Ah! No, my sister. We gain nothing by this. Tamaranians have always solved their own problems, and so we will again.
Starfire rescues the intruder from her sister.
Come, Dark One, I grant you safe passage from this planet, and any who question that will answer to me.
She leads her back to her ship.
I cannot blame this stranger for being so anxious to leave. I suspect she came to help us against the dark enemy, but received no kindness in return. The least I can do is make sure she gets safely beyond the reach of New Tamaran's EMP cannons. My small scout ship lays down a distortion trail, throwing their aim off. That we are being fired upon can only mean my sister has marked me a
Traitor! Coriander shot me and then escaped with a spy, but she won't get far. Thermal tap generator on full. Reroute all power to the cannons.
My queen, the conduits weren't built for such.
That is an order!
Well beyond Commander's reach at last. The stranger flies straight while I turn back, each with our own missions now. I will find a way to dispel the darkness that clings to my planet and my people before. And then, suddenly, but slowly, as if in a dream. No, as if in a nightmare.
The Tamaranian sun goes nova and explodes.
All that remains of New Tamaran is a shattered, charred husk. All that remains of its people is myself. It was their final night, and I should have been with them. I was their princess, after all. On another world I was called Starfire, but both titles sound empty and sour now. I only hope that the one person I saved can track the terror that destroyed my world, no matter how long it takes or how far it travels, in order to warn the next world in time.
The alien ship approaches Earth.
ETA 10 minutes 17 seconds. Trajectory should put it somewhere in the American Northeast, maybe even Metropolis.
Don't worry, Dr. Faulkner. Wherever that spaceship lands, we'll be ready. The Final Night, Part 1. Armageddon. The Final Night, Chapter 1. Dusk. The sun shone down warmly on Metropolis, the city of hope. Below, people worked and played and argued and fell in love. A typical day. Perhaps the last day.
Hey, what's with the sun? Dunno. An eclipse, maybe?
Not a natural one. Look, up in the sky.
The mysterious alien who will take the name Dusk's ship descends over Metropolis. Star Labs had noticed something heading toward Earth while it was still approximately 80 million miles away. By the time it passed Mars, they identified it as a spacecraft. Satellite scans indicated it was unlike any alien vessel already in Star's massive database. The ship comes to rest at a dock. Its galaxy of origin and purpose for coming to Earth were a complete mystery. The ship's exact destination only became certain 18 minutes before touchdown, barely enough time to organize a proper welcome. The hatch opens. That's far enough. My name's Superman. Behind me are the Legion of Superheroes and the Metropolis Special Crimes Unit. For your sake, I hope you come in peace. Can you understand me? Can you even hear me? Dusk points to the sun and speaks in an alien language.
Saints and sinners, Maggie. That big ball of fire in the sky. Never noticed that before. Good thing our space pal caused massive property damage to warn us, huh?
There's got to be more to it than that, Dan. Wish I could understand her. And I almost wish we didn't have universal translators in our flight rings.
And miss this wonderful news, Saturn girl? It's every bit as good as our team being trapped 1,000 years in the past.
Easy, Gates. Legend has it the darkest night took place within a few centuries of the second millennium, but... Been hit by that magno ball a few too many times, Cosmic Boy? That's just a kid's story.
Inferno's right. There's no hard evidence that it ever actually happened. Excuse me, but what's everyone talking about?
Oh, sorry, Superman. I'm not sure we have another U-Tran device with us. No problem. I'll just tap directly into our strange visitor's mind and transfer.
Cosmic Boy takes her weapon. I'll hold on to it if you don't mind. Don't worry, friend. Saturn Girl's telepathy is as harmless as my lifting away your gun magnetically. Just in case you'd actually let your trigger finger do some talking. Imra? And with that word, reality shifts as telepathic tendrils flash through mind fields at the speed of thought. It isn't new languages are learned as much as iridescent bridge is built across the dark chasm between them. Images become words, become phrases, become understanding in the blink of an eye, between heartbeats. She is dusk and...
No time at all! Your world is about to die! The Sun Eater is coming! With sorrow, I say I can only stay a short distance ahead of it, for its course is as impossible to predict as the weather. But I have observed its dark deeds many times, and I can say for a certainty that it is coming for your sun now. If it is not within your solar system at present, it will be in a short time. It will envelop your sun and steal its light and heat from you. Your crops will wither, your waters will freeze, and that is only the beginning. There is no way to stop it. I offer this warning as I have 100 times before, with the hope that some may escape this doomed world. But we have lost precious hours since my arrival, and I fear more and more that your people will suffer the same fate as mine.
You've done what you could, Dusk. We'll never be able to thank you enough. Lights, please. Superman addresses a large assemblage of heroes, including many current and former Justice League members, the Legion of Superheroes from the future, and the Titans. Now it's up to us. Thank you all for coming so quickly. I know even more are on their way, but time is one thing we're not gaining. This is Dr. Faulkner of Star Labs. She'll tell you what we know so far.
Damn little, I'm afraid. Dusk's story does explain an odd astronomical event at the Mauna Kea Observatory recorded about the time of her arrival, if you watch the monitors around the room.
Mauna Kea? Where's that?
Hawaii, you dim ray, home of super telescopes, and yours truly, Super Bowl. Shh! The dark shape moving across the star field is estimated to be over 1 million miles across. It absorbs all light and energy, and its trajectory sets it on a direct path for the sun. While this doesn't confirm Dusk's story, it certainly lends chilling credibility to it. We didn't think we should wait to find out if she's right or not, although we'll know for sure in less than 6 hours.
If I may add, I doubt we'll get any further data. Dusk's ship never recorded information about the Sun Eater, and your world's technology is so crude, I was lucky to be able to construct a basic U-Tran device for her.
Thanks, Brainy. Very reassuring. We only need to know one thing. How to defend against it. It must be able to be repelled or dispersed. I have witnessed thousands of different attempts, every one of which failed. Every world reduced to a sphere of ice. The Sun Eater is unstoppable. Clearly those worlds were not protected by the gods of New Genesis. Mr. Miracle will create a boom tube and teleport this thing to the edge of the source. The ultimate escape from the ultimate death trap.
Bart is right, theoretically. But I'll need some help funneling the Sun Eater.
Choose your team, Miracle. Captain Atom of the Justice League, at your service. Good, but let's not put all our eggs in one basket. We need a backup plan, some sort of decoy. Ultra Boy, Ray, Firestorm, Fire, anyone else who can generate heat and light. Alpha Centurion, we could use your spaceship. Granted, gladly.
Shouldn't someone talk to the Spectre? Surely he could help.
Oh, Grim and Green? You ask me, he'd be happy if everyone was as dead as him.
No one asked you, Guy. Why don't you focus on organizing ground teams to meet with Batman on the roof in half an hour? We have to be ready to deal with panic, if it comes to that. But let's hope for the best.
And be prepared for the worst.
Jimmy Olsen for WGBS. The world is still in the dark as to why this super summit has convened so quickly and has lasted so long. We can only hope that new light will be shed on the subject by the time the sun rises in a little over 3 hours.
Maxima, Cosmic Boy, Captain Atom, Dr. Polaris, Tachyon, and Mr. Miracle boom tube into space near the Sun Eater. Atom to Superman, Alpha Company at intersection point. Backup teams in place too, Captain. Let's hope the last few hours of preparation pay off. Good luck.
Remember, Dr. Polaris, do as you're told, when you're told. I don't know what sort of deal a con like you cut with Amanda Waller, but...
There's no deal, Captain. She outlined the situation. I volunteered. If we fail, it doesn't really matter if I'm in prison or not, does it?
Mother box is ready. Let me know when you see... Bing, bing, bing.
There!
The Sun Eater fills their vision, even at a distance.
Even a blind man couldn't miss it.
All right, everyone. Showtime. Let's not disappoint the fans back home. Maxima never disappoints.
Funnel your powers to the coordinates we discussed earlier.
Boom tube phasing in.
The boom tube's forming. They're combining their powers, creating a vortex.
How are Captain Atom and the others holding up, Superman? Can you see them?
The contained atmosphere around the Pax Romana's hull makes it a little difficult, but yes, they're all pushing their limits. Tachyon especially isn't used to. Hold! Something is wrong. My ship's scanners indicated dimensional. Back on Earth, the Phantom Stranger confronts the Spectre. No! No! I'd rather be dead! I usually arrive in time to view these little vignettes being played out. I assume he saw something in the mirror? Only the reflection of his true self, stranger, and his own dark secrets. But there are few secrets from the Spectre. Then you know why I'm here. Mankind's darkest night approaches, and I can do nothing.
That isn't true. This is literally their darkest hour. You could save them all, but you won't. With every major crisis, it's the same. In all the years I've watched you, I've never understood why.
The affairs of man are more simple to judge than the ways of God, stranger. If he has decided that this is the end, who am I to impose my will over his? The spacefaring heroes suddenly reappear. Whoop. Huh? What the? How did we get all the way over here? Something goes snafu and you yanked us out of that ground zero death trap miracle?
Yes and no. The Sun Eater was playing havoc with the boom tube, but I didn't. Oh, that was me. I could see the tube was about to reach critical mass, so I stepped between seconds and moved everyone a safe distance away.
A handy ability, Tachyon. Ripe with possibilities.
It is?
Virtually useless against the Sun Eater, of course. Do we know what caused that violent disruption?
Well, according to the mother box, ping, ping. The Sun Eater
doesn't exist entirely in our dimension, which explains why the quantum energies directed against it had little effect. I'll turn it back then. We'd better hit a home run. If we can't send it away, we'll have to lure it away, by tempting it with a second sun. A second team of heroes consisting of Ultra Boy, Firestorm, 2 Green Lanterns, the Ray, Fire, and Superman poured their energy powers together into creating a second sun. Pour it on! Green Lantern Sphere will hold and amplify our powers. The ship's shield will protect us. The second sun can be seen from Earth. I don't know how much more the Pac-Man's shield will endure, Superman. Doesn't matter. Can't stop now. It's working. The Sun Eater's being drawn away?
Hard to tell, but it seems to be reaching for the smaller, closer sun. Yes, it's about to envelop it.
A dark void envelops the heroes. Ah! Hang on! Hang on! Heaven above, so cold, like a knife in my... And like that, they're gone. Alpha Centurion ship exits a cloud of blackness. Everyone, all right? Firestorm and I moved as fast as...
Warm. Need to get warm.
I know.
Frostbite. Can't believe I got frostbite.
Sun Eater devoured all energies, even body heat. Medical unit inside. I have to stop it.
No, Superman. All you would accomplish against the Sun Eater is to have your life's energy drained away.
But Earth
needs you alive. There are dark days ahead. It's happening, just like the legend said. We failed.
We lost the battle, Cosmic Boy, not the war. We'll fall back and regroup on Earth.
The cold, dark shadow of death descends yet again, changing my words of warning into a prophecy of doom, while I change not a thing. Why do I allow myself to hope it will ever be different?
Get ready. Good God! Forget this. Out of my way, Olsen.
Black shape, moving across the sun. A minute ago there were 2 suns, but now it looks like the hero's plan didn't work. If that's what it was, I mean. And that means... I guess that means... My God, What's happening? I suppose it's the end of the world, Lex. Pity.
All it means is our honeymoon's over, Erica. I'm calling it our private plane. We need to get back to Metropolis. Mankind's not going down without a fight. The Final Night, Part 2. Chaos.
This image is the last glimpse we had of the sun as it was engulfed by the energy-draining force of nature called the Sun Eater. It has now been over 27 hours since any light or heat reached the Earth. Sources inform this station that scientists suspected nothing until the arrival of the mysterious alien known as Dusk. Crashing her ship into the docks along Metropolis' West River, she warned Superman and the young legion of superheroes about the Sun Eater's imminent arrival. We understand 2 heroic attempts were made to avert the disaster. Both were unsuccessful. But there's still a light of hope in mankind's darkest night, as the best minds and heroes and people Earth has to offer work around the clock, determined to prove that it's always darkest before the dawn. GBS and yours truly, Jimmy Olsen, will continue. What? Ladies and gentlemen, my producer's off camera telling me there's another amazing development in this story. We now join a live news conference at the Metropolis Airport.
Run from the charges against me for long enough, and without good cause, I might add. Lex Luthor has never done anything he was ashamed of, which is why I'm offering my knowledge and my company's resources to defeat this solar-siphoning parasite. Once successful, I will look forward to my day in court. Glad to hear it, Luthor.
Superman! Superman! Get those lights on him! Superman, will you be evacuating?
No, not this planet, not this city. I couldn't save Krypton. I won't stand around and watch Earth die. We'll go down fighting. Of course, I wouldn't have it any other way. Flashbulbs pop as Superman and Lex Luthor shake hands. The Final Night, Chapter 2. Darker grows the night. If you take me to the Star Lab, Superman, I assume they've been collecting data? That's right, but they're not the only ones, Lex. Oracle coordinates the efforts of heroes around the world as they try to get people fed and into shelters.
You read me, Diana? Sorry, Wonder Woman. All work and no sleep makes Oracle a dulled girl. Not quite used to processing so much information at once, to so many teams. You're doing fine, Oracle. Batman wouldn't have made you touchstone for all field units if you couldn't handle it. Maybe, but then Batman thinks there are only victims and people as unrelenting as him. Reports about the fire at the corner of Marston and Byrne.
In Cadmus's flying car, the Whiz-Wagon, Guardian transports Wonder Woman, Big Barda, the Ray, and Captain Marvel Jr. to a building on fire, and together they rescue the trapped citizens. Big Barda smashes down a wall, and the people are loaded into the flying car while Wonder Woman flies a fire truck to the scene.
Whoa, cut me off. I can't be seeing this.
Yes, you are, son. As usual, Wonder Woman has the solution to this problem well in hand.
Fully under control. Major roads cleared. All units proceed to... Will my mom be okay? She was so cold, and I just wanted to make a fire in the fireplace.
Bet you never made one before, had you, Billy?
No.
And I bet you won't again. Not for a long time, will you, Billy?
No.
Okay, then. Now, your mom's all right. A nice policeman will take you to the hospital where...
Wish you could see it, Oracle. A heartbreaking 5-year-old, and partiers who keep saying it's the end of the world as they know it, but they feel fine. That's a song? Okay, if you say so. All right, team, listen up. It must be our lucky day. Batman's sending us to Las Vegas. The snow and sand are far from a winning combination there. Mr. Ray? Mr. Ray, I know you have done so much already, but you are an angel of light, Mr. Ray. I feel only you can help me. Huh? I am far from home, Mr. Ray, and I wish for only one thing, to see my family again, to hold them again. Will you help me, please, Mr. Ray?
Half a world away. Ah, the time has come, my dear. Exactly as I promised. The moment when we will be together for all eternity. Seeing you again, I want you as badly as when I first laid eyes on you nearly 5 centuries back. Of course, you would have nothing to do with me. Vandal Savage was far too vulgar and demanding.
I had to blackmail Leonardo into painting you, and you into sitting. I suppose that explains the smile. It was my way of sharing immortality with you, my dear, and assuring that if I could not have your body, I would one day have your soul. So, stealing this painting is karmic payback on a girl who wouldn't say yes 500 years ago? Give me a break, Savage. This is art theft, pure and simple. Batman? In the City of Light? This is a sight I thought I'd never live to see. Surely you won't begrudge me one memento, Dark Knight. You see, after witnessing millennia of wars and plagues and natural disasters, I fear this truly is Earth's final night. I've already arranged off-planet transport. You're not going anywhere, Savage. I'm being shuttled around the world, coordinating teams just to prevent crimes like this. You might have gotten away with it, too, if you'd bothered to disable the Louvre security system.
I was certain the Longo gendarmes would have more pressing concerns than robbery at the moment. As, I'm sure, do you, Batman. I suggest we each go our own way.
I suggest you surrender.
You never could take a hint, detective.
Savage turns and fires a submachine gun at Batman, strafing him with bullets. But he is unharmed.
I'm more interested in taking you down, Savage.
He traps him with a batarang and a line.
No! Impossible! I use Teflon-coated hollow points, even with body armor. How? Force field? Illusion? Ugh. The same way I arrived at Paris, Savage. Man of steel. Still faster than a speeding bullet, as you can see. Barely.
With the sun out, I'm afraid Superman's powers are diminishing rapidly. We really shouldn't rely on him for much more than crowd control. Saving the world is now up to me. And the rest of you, of course. The first thing we need is detailed data on this Sun Eater. The Alpha Centurion ship collected some basic information, but we need more. Much more.
You are wasting precious time, Lex Luthor. The Sun Eater cannot be defeated. I have seen this same scenario played out on countless worlds.
It would have been nice if your ship recorded some of those scenarios. Then again, considering these primitive systems. What's that? Speak up. Brainiac, isn't it? I hear you're from a world so amazingly advanced that you must have our problem already solved. No? Well then follow me on this one, and tell me if I go too fast for you. What we need is a probe. Something that can descend through the energy-draining Sun Eater and survive the million-degree temperatures of the sun itself. Oh, and we need to launch now. Ha! Of course! So simple. You'll be even greener with envy, my young friend. Kyle Rayner flies through space in a large green energy spacesuit. Approaching the sun now. You still read me, Metropolis? As if we were in the same room, Lantern. Proceed on course. Your fine-tuning of my probe design was almost impressive, Brainiac, if the sensors perform half as well as these comlinks. They should perform twice as well, but without nanoconductors.
Even without them, Brainiac, I'd say you and Luthor make quite a team.
Yes, well, I admit Luthor's notion of Saturn Girl telepathically funneling our ideas straight into Green Lantern's mind was a stroke of genius. After all, only Lantern's power ring could construct a device capable of surviving what lies ahead. Ready, Lantern? I don't think I'll ever be ready. Let's just do it. He dives into the Sun Eater. Probe surface temperature is dropping drastically.
Greif, I've never seen a more perfect energy siphon.
I don't want to see one. It's a dead zone around the probe. All directions. Where's the energy going?
Dimensional transference by the readings. Possibly temporal. Look, the ring's spiking down. How long?
Long enough. Keep moving, Lantern. Straight towards the center of gravity.
He's descended over 2,000 miles. How deep does this thing go? How much of the sun is left? Is there any sun left?
Oh, it's definitely still here, Doc. Kyle has reached the sun inside the Sun Eater. Good thing, too. That black void is draining me fast. You getting these readings, Metropolis? Yes. Unfortunately. Dusk may be right. We should evacuate the planet. We don't have time to worry about anything else.
What do you mean, don't have time? Brainiac 5? We done, Metropolis? I'd rather not spend any more time here than I have to. It's getting pretty warm. I'd like to disassemble the probe, too. Give off less energy on my way out. Fine. Shut down. I don't want to know anymore.
You imbecile! I don't care what you want. I want every scrap of data available. Look, all our screens are blank now. Saturnia, whatever your name is, use your ESP to get Green Lantern back. There's still a chance.
The name's Saturn Girl, Mr. Luther, and something's wrong. I can't find any trace of Green Lantern within the sun, no matter how hard I try to bring a reminder with me from each world I visit, Black Canary. A piece that will hopefully encapsulate the culture and keep it alive in some small way. Your warning never saved any of them, Dusk? A handful, here and there. Never a world. The ending is always the same.
An angry mob of people surround the dock where Dusk's ship rests. They think she has led the Sun Eater to them, and they want revenge. Black Canary helps her fight the crowd off, but she isn't helpless herself. Wally West, the Flash, provides backup along with Nightwing and Robin.
Don't let it go to your head, pal. Standing still, you're the same speed as everyone else.
Oh! Same goes for you, pal. Wally? Half a second. I'll be up to speed. I don't know if we have that long. I can't see the lady Batman sent us here for. I think the crowd has her. Who can get to her? Nightwing? Canary? Anyone?
The Ray carries the old woman and finds her village. Her family embrace her, happy for the moment at least. The Ray is frustrated by the unfairness of their plight, and he attempts to replace the sun by himself. He flies high into the sky and burns as brightly as he can, and the people rejoice.
Can't do it. All my power. I never met a more spiteful race. You have earned what is coming. There is no hope for you. You do not deserve hope.
The Ray falters and falls.
That's not true, ma'am. These folk are scared, that's all. But no one's going to hurt you. Not as long as Pharaoh is around.
The new young hero Pharaoh, who can turn his body to iron, uses his great strength to rescue Dusk. The Final Night, Superman in Action Comics. Several days ago, something rather odd occurred. The sun went out. Since then, fear has blanketed the earth, filling the souls of human animals who would use and embrace it.
Come on, guys, let's ride.
Please, food shipments have stopped. That's all we have to keep us alive. Why, don't.
Yet there is something so basic, so elemental, that even the power of planetary chaos cannot alter them. Superman leaps high in the air to reach the scene of the crime.
Just be glad we lived to breathing, pal, and pray we don't come back.
Such things as truth, and justice, and Superman. Cold comfort. He leaps into battle, kicking the lead driver off his snowmobile.
Oh man, the whole world's falling apart. Don't you have something better to do?
Never. Superman blocks the bullets with his open hand.
I know this is suicide, but I gotta get out of here.
One driver makes a break for it, knocking Superman out of the way.
Ooh. Ernie, you did it. You actually knocked him over. He must have been off balance or something.
Ugh. Can't let them see what a strain it is to lift this car. Have to give it all I've got and throw.
The thrown car stops the escaping thieves. I'll see that the police collect these looters. Meanwhile, I suggest you folks barricade your store and stay inside for the duration.
It's comforting to know that no matter what happens...
Yeah, he'll be here.
Why? That man, he's taking the food those looters dropped.
Hey, leave that alone.
You don't understand. Restaurants are closed. Supermarkets are empty. A man's gotta eat. Here, I'll pay. You'll even make a profit on this.
The man throws a pile of money at the shopkeepers.
He's no better than the looters. Does he think cash will turn the sun back on?
I'm not a criminal. I'm a businessman. But with mass transit shut down, I can't get home to Park Ridge. What I need now is someplace warm to hold up. Yeah, this food should last several days. By then, the government will find some way out of this mess.
Superman leaps among the rooftops of Metropolis.
What a mess. My body is essentially a living solar battery. I get my powers from the sun, but without sunlight to renew my energy, those powers have been diminishing ever since I got back from Paris. Can't even fly now. Forced to leap as far as I can. What happens if I grow too weak? If I can't protect Metropolis now, when the city needs me more than ever?
Perry White, undergoing cancer treatment, has left Clark Kent in charge of the Daily Planet as they publish what might be their final issue. Well, I could stay if... The next edition won't be more than a one-sheet. We can handle that. Go. I know how Ron feels. Right now, there's nothing I want more than to be with Lois. But with my diminished powers, I couldn't fly across the Atlantic to find her. Even if she wanted me to.
Mr. Kent, I think you'll want to see this. This is Jimmy Olsen, WGBS News, on the scene of yet another tragedy in the making. Moments ago, unknown parties stole 3 incredibly powerful battlesuits from an MPD warehouse. Inspector Dan Turpin is heading the investigation. Inspector, would you say this is another nail in Metropolis' coffin?
I wouldn't, but then I'm not trying to start a panic. I will say that if things keep getting worse, those Simbots could become vital to this city's safety, and with our forces run ragged already, there's no way we can mount a proper search. Looks like this time, we lose.
Oh, dear. I'll see if Mr. Troop can cover.
That's okay, Allie. I'll be handling this one. Clark begins to change into Superman. Centennial Park.
Saw a news report once about how homeless people stay warm by living in drainage tunnels. Could be my ticket to getting through this bad spell. There's one now, and there's light inside. Must already be set up as a shelter. Still got a couple $100. I'm sure they'll be happy to rent me some space. And maybe a blanket.
Inside the tunnel, a gang of ruffians are hassling the innocent people just trying to stay warm.
Oh, Lord.
Pretty toasty in here, huh, Ricky?
Yeah, and I could think of some fun ways to get even warmer. Gotta slip away before anyone sees me.
Well, looky here. We got us a suit. What's in the bag, suit?
A man points a gun at him. He smashes the bag of food into the gunman.
Get away!
You son of a... Hey! Forget the suit, man. We got chips.
I have to get out of... Huh? Something metal. That punk's gun. Never fired one before. But it couldn't be that difficult. Maybe I can use it to help those... No! These things only hold 6 bullets, and I might need all of them to save myself.
The businessman runs away, carrying the punk's gun. Huge warsuits tromp down the streets of Metropolis. Ribbit just a few blocks away. We'll be home before supper.
But, Aaron, what if Superman shows?
Like I said at the briefing, Sam, according to speculation we skimmed off the internet, that shouldn't be a problem?
Superman charges into one with all his remaining strength.
Have to disable these machines without destroying them. Look, he's struggling to get up. Lack of sunlight is making him weak. We can take him.
Superman narrowly dodges an energy blast. A huge metal fist punches Superman in the air, knocking him into a building.
Getting slower. Dodged the energy blast, but ran smack into the other one's fist. At least the building I hit didn't suffer any structural damage.
Now for the 1-2 finale. First I soak him in rocket fuel, then follow that with... missiles to ignite him.
The robot suit fires rockets at Superman and the area bursts into flames.
Still invulnerable. Flames aren't burning me, but that sound. I can barely hear it, yet... No! A family taking refuge in the basement! At least my super breath is still powerful enough to clear an escape route.
A large metal hand picks him up.
Glad you helped those folks to safety, Superman. The distraction put you right in the palm of my hand. Which, as you're about to discover, also houses... a force beam generator.
He is blasted across Centennial Park and lands in the snow.
They're getting away, but stopping them could take the last of my energy, leave me helpless against future threats. I'm not what I used to be. Maybe it's time to accept that and cut my losses. I feel rotten, but what can I do? I'm just one man. I'm not a...
The businessman sees Superman's statue.
Hero? Huh. I've passed this statue 100 times. It was put up after Superman saved Metropolis from Doomsday. He gave his life, simply for the act of doing what was right. And he was just one man. Feels wrong letting criminals walk away. Every fiber of my being screams, go after them. But I have to consider the big picture. Have to think about...
Superman sees his statue from the other side.
Metropolis? That statue was erected to honor me, to symbolize what I mean to the people. They take courage from it, strength to go on no matter how hard life gets. Can I do any less? No. No more than I can pick which wrongs I'll right. As long as I breathe, I've got to give everything to protecting this city, right down to my very last spark of energy.
There's the river, boys. In a few minutes, we'll be home free. I can almost smell them spam burgers frying on the... Huh?
Superman breaks through the clear dome of one of the robot suits.
Come on, Sammy. Pick up the pace. We ain't got all... Hey!
These battlesuits are based on Kryptonian technology, which means their weakest components are their human operators.
Piloting one of the suits, Superman smashes the domes of the other two. He blinds them with light flashes.
Strobe burst! You can't see!
Here, take my hand.
Superman pulls out the other operators.
The SCU should have those Symbots fully functional in no time. Meanwhile, you gentlemen can practice surviving in jail.
That SpaghettiOs was right tasty. Gave me some energy I need to work off. But please...
A bullet impacts the wall by the raiders.
Huh? I'll kill you! I swear I'll kill you all! Out of my way! That mother's crazy!
They flee the businessman and his gun.
Why, mister? Why'd you come back?
I just had to. But I'm afraid that's all the help I can be. Gun's empty.
Maybe we won't need it. They say there's strength in numbers, friend. And our number just grew by 1. Chips?
Midnight, as dark as noon. Glad to hear you're all fine, Perry. Give Alice and Keith my best. Okay, talk to you later. Good night. Another day done, and we all made it through intact. But what about tomorrow? Assuming, of course, there is a tomorrow. Guess I'm tired. I should know by now. No matter how grim things get, there will be a tomorrow. As long as we have anything to say about it. The Final Night, Part 3, Shallow Graves.
Ex-Green Lantern Guy Gardner, now known as Warrior, and Pharaoh bring Wildcat into a makeshift medical center in Guy's New York bar. The Final Night, Chapter 3, Keeping Hope Alive.
Medic!
Warriors was a unique restaurant in New York City where adventurers could go to relax, share stories, lick wounds, until the sun went out 3 days ago. Since then, it's been an ad hoc shelter, command center, and hospital.
Doc! Hey, Doc! The beetle's arm hasn't got to be amputated. We need you here. Wildcat's hurt. Bad. Ugh.
Doctors pitch in to do what they can in Guy's bar until the power goes out. Guy shows Lightning Glass of the Legion where his generator is by blasting a hole in the wall in frustration. Lightning Glass simply grabs the hanging wire and restores the electricity with her own power, and her fellow Legion member Inferno sterilizes the doctor's instruments with her heat powers.
Hey, you're Pharaoh, right? Yes. I thought so. I heard how you saved the Xeno named Dusk from that mob about 48 hours ago. Nice work. Everyone says you're new at this. I think you're off to a great start. Thanks, miss. Spark, please. Look, I'm not going anywhere for a while. Maybe you could use this.
She tosses Pharaoh a ring.
What? Legion flight ring.
Take good care of it. I'll want it back. Of course, Spark. I don't know what to...
Shh! Interrupt this special announcement.
The demon Etrigan appears on the bar's TV and on screens all over the world.
Hello, people of the world. I know you've been looking out your windows asking, what the hell's the game? We hear you, and while we're not to blame, my brethren and I have an offer just the same. We're prepared to save the world. Upon you all this great service we will endow. And the best part is, you pay nothing now. Life will return to and continue as normal, barring acts of godly harm. Better yet, once you die, you'll be assured a place where it's always warm. Now, this is an all-or-nothing deal. Everyone signs on the dotted line, or the gift will be repealed. I know what you're thinking, and you're right. In Hades it is not a frosty night. A cold day in hell is something one shall never see. But for planet Earth, it might as well be.
The Pope watches as well in the Vatican.
Your Eminence.
Shh. Needless to say, this deal expires at midnight.
In the case of this offer, gentlemen, it's clear that we would have been damned if we did. The Daily Planet's response reads, Earth to demon, go to hell. The alternative is nowhere near as dark, I assure you. Mankind will pull through this. Our first priority is heat. While we can rule out solar power and hydroelectric as the waterways continue to freeze, geothermal is a strong possibility, if somewhat unpredictable. And I have already ordered into production prototypes that will tap the safer magnetic and gravitational fields. LexCorp is also overseeing construction of biospheres to house everything from cattle to whales to tomatoes to redwoods. At the same time, we continue to try and find a way to restore the sun. It's still there, after all, merely covered by the Sun Eater. Life may be different, but the bottom line is, the human race is far from over.
Aren't these merely stopgap measures, Mr. Luther? Isn't it only a matter of time before Earth becomes a solid ice ball, incapable of supporting any life?
As it happens, Mr. Troop, recent data shows the molten core cooling much slower than expected. It's almost as if the planet's life force is fighting to stay alive as hard as we are. The Spectre comforts an immense naked woman representing the Earth's life force itself, known as Gaia.
The cold, like an icy fist about my heart. Only the warmth you supply keeps it at bay, Spectre.
If it is God's wish for the sun to be forever extinguished, I will not go against his will, Gaia. But I will do everything within my power to help the embodiment of the Earth Mother survive. Until I am certain this is our final night.
It's definitely shrinking. I've spent the last 30 hours confirming what I already dreaded. The sun is losing energy to the Sun Eater, but not mass. As it does so, its gravitational force is causing it to collapse in on itself, generating tremendous heat.
I'm afraid I don't understand. Looking at the 20-foot snowdrifts outside, heat sounds good. The universe isn't as simple as you might think, Superman. To the trained eye, it's obvious the sun is trying to heal itself, but not quite in the way we'd want. We don't know much about this phenomenon on Earth, but I'm sure where the young Brainiac comes from, they have the timetables figured out. How long?
Less than 24 hours, until the sun goes hypernova and incinerates all life in this solar system.
The good news is we certainly won't need to worry about freezing. I suspect the nova is what hurtles the Sun Eater back through space toward its next energy source.
How can you just stand there, Luther? We must be able to do something.
We, Kimosabe? Without the sun, your powers are nearly gone. I really think you should leave this to the big boys. Dr. Faulkner, Brainiac, Tachyon, Cosmic Boy, if you and those like you would follow me, the clock is ticking.
And with any luck, it's a time bomb. It'll go off right under that egotistical...
No, Black Canary, Luther's right. We all have to do what's within our power to do. And we all have to make choices. These next few hours could be Earth's last. Oracle, Superman, there's something all the field teams need to know. Metropolis is West River.
Life support? Optimum. Cryosleep? Optimum. Tracking? Optimum. Power pod backup? Repair required. I wish there'd been time to fix them on New Tamaran.
The Phantom Stranger, once known as Judas Iscariot and cursed by God to wander Earth forever for his crime, comes to dusk.
Perhaps you will have better luck on the next planet you warn.
Who? How do you know my language?
I know many things, Dusk. May I suggest you hasten slowly? Simply because I am a stranger does not make me your enemy. I did not come to detain you. I came to determine why you did not reveal Earth's ultimate fate at the start.
Excuse me, stranger. I did not survive this long without being cautious. I have learned to mete out data only as is necessary. When I was attacked, I took it as a clear sign that Earth did not want to hear what I had to say any longer.
What you do not know is that mankind constantly struggles toward the light. True, they often stumble, but as often, if not more so, they take great strides. Let me show you.
He extends a hand to her. Barbara Gordon calls her father, Police Commissioner Jim Gordon.
Just wanted to see how you were. I'm fine. No, don't send a chopper for me. You've got bigger problems, and I've got plenty to keep me busy. Watching the news mostly, yeah. Uh-huh. I know Gotham's used to things being dark. Sure will take more than that to stop this town. You got that right. Okay, love you too, Dad. Bye.
We are in the headquarters of the information broker known as Oracle.
What?
As is the case with these mystery voyages, we are immaterial and no one can see or hear us. You will also be able to understand each language you encounter. Watch what happens as news of Earth's fiery finish spreads.
Oracle to all field units. There's been a development. You are asked not to pass this news along to the general population, but to act on it as you see fit. I will remain on air, supplying information until it's over.
Alan Scott, the Golden Age Green Lantern, now going by the name Sentinel, rescues people trapped by an earthquake. He is enveloped by darkness and for a moment fears he has died, but it's only his son Obsidian coming to help with his darkness powers and bringing his daughter Jade, who was born with the green energy power of the Lanterns. United, the three search for more people to help. Help me with one last sweep of the area, and then we'll go home.
Home? Do they not realize how hollow that word is now? Would they rather die here than live somewhere else?
Mankind believes they can overcome any obstacle, Dusk. Those who fly and bend steel in their bare hands embody those beliefs.
The stranger shows Dusk heroes helping people all over the world in small ways.
They are people's dreams made flesh. Their bright costumes are beacons of hope in the darkness, banners of the best that humanity sees in itself. They are not gods. Often they are all too human. But this is what draws people to these heroes. That behind the mask, hidden within the folds of a cape, is one of them, haunted by the same demons, overcoming the same fears as anyone else. At times mankind may succumb to those fears, but their champions remind them that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, that life is always within their grasp, that one man or woman can make a difference, and that when banded together, nothing is impossible.
Very moving, stranger, but... Stranger?
He returns her to the streets of Metropolis.
Show me mankind at its best if you want, but I have experienced it at its worst. Your arguments are, at best, half-truths that carry little weight.
Preoccupied, she hadn't even noticed the sudden cold surrounding her. You hear that? Over there! Hey, isn't that? Yeah! Come on, let's get her!
She is quickly reminded of where she is, and what happened before.
It is her! That does gal!
She is ready for anything, except...
Better get you to Warriors before you freeze, little lady.
Yeah, wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
She did not need to understand the words, and with a spark of irrational hope, Dusk thinks that if these people can overcome their own dark side, perhaps they can defeat the Sun Eater. Borrowing the whiz wagon to fly, Superman checks in on his parents in Kansas. Smallville, Kansas.
Well, you look who dropped by, Martha.
Clark?
It's me, Ma. Can't stay long, just wanted to make sure you two were okay.
You didn't fly in on your own, son? Your powers?
Fading fast, but I'll tell you, I can think of a lot worse things than being a normal person.
You got that blasted sun-eating critter licked yet, Clark? Winter wheat's got to go in soon.
You won't have to worry about it much longer, Pa.
Dear Lord, Clark, is it that bad?
Back at Warriors, Lightning Lass begins to lose hope.
It can't happen. If it did, I wouldn't exist. I couldn't be here today.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Think I'll get drunk too.
I'm not drunk. Last thing I want is to dehydrate my body, strip it of vitamins and minerals, weaken its immune system.
Like I said, think I'll join you. Can't do it. World's coming to an end, I can't even go on a good bender. Damn Boulderian physiology regenerates my body before the booze can get into my system. Let the rest of them run around like they're gonna make a difference. No use fighting the inevitable. Here's to the glory days, back when I had the power to do almost anything to save the world.
Guy toasts his Green Lantern uniform.
What I wouldn't give for a little of that right now. Guess it's true, that saying about the grass on the other side being greener?
He is distracted by a green glow. The final night. Parallax. Emerald Night.
How did I get here? That's what he's thinking. I'm sure of it. The cyborg's wondering how he came to be here. Here, where the universe itself comes to an end.
Emerald Night.
He beholds the wall, the barrier between this universe and the mystery called the Source that lies beyond. The Source has been described as the unknowable and the infinite, the answer to all questions and the fulfillment of all desires. For their arrogance in attempting to learn the secrets of the Source by breaching the wall, the Promethean giants are forever shackled to it. They were elder gods, beings of a higher order. Now and forevermore they suffered their punishment for heeding the lure of forbidden power. The cyborg was once a man named Hank Henshaw. Now I doubt there's any humanity left within him. He is living machinery, imbued with Superman's genetic code and directed by the consciousness of a madman. I pursued him across this universe and even into another, intent on dispensing the justice he's avoided. But each time he's managed to slip away from me. I picked up his trail again, just before he was cast into a black hole and deposited here. Perhaps he sees this as an opportunity. He's mistaken. This is the end of everything. And there's no place left to run.
Hal Jordan, Parallax, appears and confronts the cyborg Superman.
Jordan. Finally, you tracked me down. Still intent on revenge, Green Lantern?
I'm not Green Lantern any longer. I'm now Parallax.
Jordan, Lantern, Parallax. Your intent is the same, whatever you choose to call yourself. You think you're going to punish me for my crimes.
You reduced Coast City to a hole in the ground. Slaughtered 7 million people. It was my city. I grew up there. I lived there. And you took it all away in a few minutes. Mongol's already dead, but he was really only your tool, wasn't he? A glorified servant. You were the architect of the destruction. You're the one who's going to pay its price. After Coast City, nothing was the same for me.
All true. And now, some sort of heroic act, I suppose? Defeat me and drag me off to a prison planet? Better yet, back to Earth to stand trial? You heroes are all enamored of fair trials. You'll accomplish nothing. You can't imprison me, much less defeat me. Superman thought he defeated me. I just kept coming back. I'm living energy inside this cybernetic body. I don't blame this insane creature for what happened to me. He'll answer for Coast City. But my own transformation from what I once was to what I am now. I don't think you understand. I'm not here to capture you. I'm here to erase you from existence. That I lay at the feet of the Guardians.
Parallax blasts the cyborg in the chest. I never felt I was the model Green Lantern everyone thought I was, but I was good at the job. I didn't deserve what they did to me. The cyborg reconstructs himself. Good as new. I wanted to use my power to bring back Coast City, all the innocent people who died. And the Guardians wouldn't let me. They forced me to rebel against them. They sent the GL Corps after me. Parallax slams the cyborg to the wall with a huge green energy hand. The Guardians share in the blame for everything that happened. But even so, I committed questionable deeds. I know that. Do I regret the things I've done? Of course. Only some sort of villain wouldn't feel remorse. Hal creates a huge dragon made of green energy.
This display is meant to impress me, Jordan? Show off your power?
For the Corps more than anything. Some of them were my friends. Others I'd never even met. But they were all my brothers. And they got caught in the middle.
I'll show you real power.
I lost something of myself when I revolted against the Guardians' omnipotence. I lost the right to my past. But I became something more. The cyborg blasts through the dragon.
Jordan! Kill you this time, like I should have before.
The Guardians withered and died, and I gained what they had been. Such power. Power enough to resurrect Coast City. Hal grabs Cyborg by the throat.
You actually think you're enough to destroy me?
It's not me you're fighting. But I realized there was so much more I could do. The mistakes, the unfairness. It was within my grasp to fix everything. I could remake time itself. It's them. The 7 million you butchered.
7 million? You're just...
Green hands surround the cyborg, grasping at him.
Ah!
I wanted to make everything so good again.
What is this, Jordan? What are you...
But even my friends, Ollie, Clark, all of them were against me.
Ah!
More and more hands appear, regular folks created by Hal representing his victims. I was only trying to do what's right, but they didn't understand. No one understood. Was what I wanted so wrong? 7 million people tear apart the cyborg with their bare hands, consuming him completely. Until all that is left is his consciousness, trapped in a green energy ball. Gone. The cyborg, my pursuit, all of it, reduced to nothing. And all I feel is empty. Hal holds the ball in his hand, then streams the energy of the cyborg's consciousness into the source wall. Now I suddenly find myself aimless. And what have I truly accomplished except another death? I don't regret ending the cyborg's life. It was a deserved fate. But I'm also aware such an act was once unthinkable to me. What kind of hero kills his enemy? What kind of hero is responsible for the deaths of his friends? I believed my goals were lofty enough to justify my actions. Yet now I look back upon my deeds and ponder what I've become. I realize there's no road back. Maybe my time as a hero is over. I had more in common with them than with who I was. They had achieved their ambitions. There was nothing left for them, no more challenges to which they could aspire. So they sought something more. They attempted to breach the forbidden.
and brought about their own downfall. What's left for me now? To follow in their footsteps? Why are you here?
Looking for you, Hal. We have to talk.
Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern. How strange that sounds to me. In some ways, it seems like I've always been Green Lantern. Where are the others? Aren't they coming after me again? In others, it seems a lifetime ago.
It's not like that. I'm not here for a fight. Peace, okay?
Kyle forms a dove carrying an olive branch. I still can't get used to the costume, but he's made the job his. I'm almost proud. I remember what it was like for me in the beginning. You're so eager.
I had the ring bringing to you. I need to tell you what's happened.
So wide-eyed.
Wow. What is this place?
Kyle and I have clashed twice, the first time resulting in Oa's destruction. A fitting end to the place, I suppose. It's called the Wall. It separates our universe from what's on the other side.
Man, wouldn't want to be one of those guys.
The second time was on Earth. It made me accept that I could never be Green Lantern again, even if I reclaimed the ring. I'd gone too far, changed too much. Amazing, isn't it? Being Green Lantern.
What? Oh. Yeah, it is. But you know that better than anybody, huh? I'm just trying to do the best I can.
I envy you, you know. Everything must be so new to you, so fresh. Your whole future's in front of you.
Yeah, well, actually, it's not. That's why I came to find you. Earth's in danger. Frankly, danger's an understatement.
What are you talking about?
This thing called the Sun Eater, well, it's pretty self-explanatory what it did, isn't it? I truthfully don't know what it is, but it absorbed all the light and heat from the sun. The sun's still there, but it's diminished, like it's only smoldering. The Earth is freezing to death, Hal, and nothing anyone's tried has been able to stop it. Somehow, the sun has to be rekindled. My ring's supposed to be the most powerful weapon in the universe, but I'm not up to this. I'm afraid I don't have the experience or the willpower. But you do.
I tried to give them a better world, and they refused me. Now they're asking me to save them?
No, this was my idea. No one else even knows I'm here. I came because I know you, Hal. I know you can help.
That's all I've ever wanted to do. But now you're willing to accept me? Is that it?
Earth is your home, in an even larger sense than Coast City was. You can't turn your back on it. Hal?
I don't know. This is something I need to think about. Please leave.
There isn't much time. A day, maybe 2 at the most. No one else can do this, Hal. We need you. We need you to be a hero again.
Go. Hal dismisses Kyle, teleporting him back to Earth. I need to see for myself. Hal teleports to the sun, confronting the enormity of the task before him. I don't know if I can do this.
Can't do it. World's coming to an end and I can't even tie out a good drunk. Damn Boulderian physiology regenerates my body before the booze can get into my system.
Guy Gardner. He could have been Green Lantern instead of me. I just happened to be closer. Eventually, Guy did replace me for a while. We beat the hell out of each other trying to figure out who had the right to be Green Lantern. Now neither of us is. Now he calls himself Warrior. Guy's changed a lot over the years. Many people found it hard to accept the new Guy. I admit I was one of them. I never thought Guy and I had anything in common. He became so different from me, so different from what I thought a hero should be. I'm realizing just how similar we are.
Let the rest of them run around like it's gonna make any difference. No use fighting the inevitable. Here's to the glory days. Back when I had the power to do almost anything to save the world. But I wouldn't give for a little of that right now. Guess it's true, that saying about the grass on the other side always being
Greener? Hal appears in Guy's booth.
Huh? Maybe this stuff's working better than I thought.
No, Guy, it's me, in the flesh.
Aw, geez, Jordan! Earth buying the farms, you come back to rub our noses in it?
Not at all, Guy. I came to see you because I've got a lot to think about. I thought talking to you might help.
You want to talk to me? Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk about how you destroyed the core and killed the Guardians. How you trashed your friends while you messed with time so you could get what you wanted. Let's talk about all of that.
Yes, what I did was wrong. How hard do you think it's been for me to accept that, Guy? I thought I could fix everything when it was over, but no one understood that. That's why I wanted to talk to you, Guy. When you were a Green Lantern, no one understood you. I know I didn't. We spent half our time at each other's throats. At best, we thought you were a jerk. At worst, maybe no better than the villains we were fighting. But you always got the job done. What made you keep going? You did everything you could to be a hero, even though you were despised. Why?
'Cause I knew I was a hero, and I didn't give a good damn what anybody else thought. To me, being a hero means doing the right thing, no matter the odds or anybody's opinion. You do what you gotta do. Why are you asking me this stuff, Jordan? Why now?
Because I have a decision to make, and I need to get things clear in my mind. Guy, I want you to know that whatever conflicts we might have had, you were the one I wanted watching my back. Thanks.
Yeah, Jordan, you do what you gotta do.
Hal appears by John Stewart's bedside. Paralyzed. John doesn't deserve this. The Guardians chose John Stewart to be my alternate. He'd carry out my duties as Green Lantern if I was no longer able. Initially, I couldn't understand why they'd picked him. He carried such anger. I thought I had so much to teach him. But John proved himself to be everything a Lantern was supposed to be. Everything a hero's supposed to be. Hal, what are you doing here? I was in the neighborhood. It cost John dearly. His life's been marked by more tragedy than any man should have to endure. This is just the latest. John's in that bed because he made a sacrifice. He put himself in harm's way to save others. And through it all, he never lost hope. He never turned away from the responsibility. After all these years, John's still teaching me. I heard what happened. I'm very sorry. You can't do this, Hal. You can't just appear and act like nothing's gone down. I haven't seen you since before everything. And now look at you. What happened to you, man? The Corps? The Guardians? Oa? You owe me explanations. I wish I had the time to explain it all to you, John. But there's hardly time for anything. I have a lot on my mind. But I wanted to come see you. You were a good friend to me. I hope I was to you as well. When we first met, you understood the unfairness of life. Now I do, too. What are you? Hal takes John's hand and he stands up. I can walk! They told me I'd never even stand again. My God, Hal, what did you do to me? In a small way, at least, I've made things right. That's all I've ever wanted to do. Try to remember that about me, John. I have to go now, but I wanted you to know there's a bright future ahead of you. Hal, wait! I don't understand! What's going on? Tell me! Hal vanishes again. What you mean? Hal Jordan appears by Oliver Queen's grave. Please see my episode Where Angels Fear to Tread to witness the untimely death of Green Arrow. Hal leaves a bouquet of roses for his best friend and departs. Sometimes there simply are no words to express what we feel. Tom Kalmaku was Hal's sidekick through most of his long career as Green Lantern. Only fitting I find him up to his elbows in an airplane engine. Carb has to be replaced. Need a bigger wrench. If I'd been a knight, Tom Kalmaku would have been my squire. This one okay, Tom?
Ow!
He was my friend, my confidant, Sancho Panza to my Don Quixote, and the best mechanic I'd ever seen. Tom could strap an ironing board on a wash tub and make it fly. He knew Hal Jordan was Green Lantern. All he wanted to do was help, just this eager kid. Well, we both were. We treated the whole thing like a glorious adventure.
Hal? Hal? How? Why are you here?
Times are so much simpler then. I should be asking you the same thing, Tom.
You mean tinkering with my plane? I guess it's everything that's happening, Hal. Everything with the sun. They're saying the world might actually end. It's just so big. How are you supposed to deal with something like that? I felt like I should be doing something. And this is what I know how to do. But I bet that's why you're here. You're going to do what you know how to do. You're going to fix everything. Save everybody. Just like the old Hal. All those things they said you did, I never believed any of them. Not you. Not Hal Jordan.
I appreciate your faith in me, Tom. Tom was always so loyal to me, probably more than he should have been. I've disappointed the people who looked up to me, who trusted me. People like Tom. I owe them more than my failures.
Hey, I'm still working on my book about you. I think there's a draft in my workbench. I'm going to tell everyone what kind of hero you are, Hal. They need to be reminded. It's here somewhere.
I can't stay, Tom. I have some things to do. I just wanted to see you again, to say thank you. You should go inside, be with your wife and kids. I'll try to give you an ending for your book. Hal vanishes again.
Found it. I'm only... Hal? Hal?
Hal finds Carol Ferris at her airfield. There were other women, of course, but none of them mattered. Not like her. She was the one.
I wondered when you'd be showing up.
Carol Ferris, the great love of my life. It seemed right to save her for last. I always believed we'd eventually be together, raise a family, and grow old with one another. That seemed right, too. You don't seem surprised to see me, Carol. You're the only one.
Maybe I just know you better than anyone else.
God, she's still so beautiful. I'm not sure anybody knows me. Not anymore.
I know you, Hal. I know why you're here. It's because of what's happening, and because you think you can do something about it.
I was asked to help. Yes, that's what brought me back. But it might even be beyond me. I don't know if I can do what's necessary. Carol, what I can do is take us both away from here, to someplace safe. We can finally be together. We can have everything we thought was gone. There's still a chance for us.
This isn't about us, Hal. It never was. It's about everyone else. Everyone who needed Green Lantern to save them or protect them or help them. They all came before us. That's why there never was an us. That's why we never had a future together, Hal, and why we can't have one now. You understand that, even if you're not admitting it to yourself right now. I've heard about all the things you've done, and it doesn't matter, because I know you. I know who you really are, and so do you. You've always been a hero, and nothing can change that. You'll do what's right.
But I don't know if I can.
Whether you can isn't what's important. What's important is that in your heart, you know you should. And that's why this has to be goodbye. I love you, Hal.
Hal holds Carol and kisses her one last time in the snow before vanishing from her arms. Hal appears by the Coast City Memorial, formed from the metal of the engine city it was destroyed to create. This is the place, my beginning and my ending. This was the heart of Coast City's waterfront district. There used to be a great seafood place right about here, Justino's. They had a standing offer for Green Lantern, a free meal whenever he wanted one. I actually took them up on it once. Crab legs, I think. Now it's just ground zero, the epicenter of Engine City. The cyborg and Mongol gave birth to an abomination here, snuffing out 7 million lives in the process. They were my friends, people I'd grown up with. They depended on Green Lantern to keep them safe. And I didn't. I failed at the thing that mattered most. I can't let that happen again. Alright, let's get this over with. Hal expels Ganthet from his being, and the Guardian of the Universe reforms his body. He's been within me since the last time I returned to Earth. Barely there, a stray thought, a rare whisper. I'm still not sure what he hoped to accomplish by attaching himself to me. Simply keeping tabs? Who knows why the Guardians ever did anything? If I'd understood them, maybe I wouldn't be here now. Maybe everything that happened wouldn't have happened. At least I always found Ganthet to be one of the more tolerable ones. It began here, yes? We come full circle. You know what's going on? I know what you know, and more. I know what you will do. You think yourself changed, but you cannot ignore what you are. You were everything we desired from our Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan. You were the greatest of our soldiers, the most heroic. Your betrayal does not change that.
Betrayal? You're the one who betrayed me! You turned your back on me when I needed you! After all the time I served you, was I asking for so much?
We Guardians were an unbending lot. We concerned ourselves with rules, with order. We were not prepared to look beyond our strictures for any reason, even a worthy one. I do not excuse your deeds. That weight is yours to bear. Yet I do accept that the actions of my brothers greatly contributed to them. We erred, and I am sorry. Ganthet holds out a Green Lantern ring to Hal. It can be yours again, if you wish it. Not so long ago I tried to get my ring back. I thought by doing it I could get my past back. But the past is gone. I had to learn to let it go. I've done things I'm not proud of. At the time I believed I was doing the right thing. That's what I always tried to do as Green Lantern. So maybe what you say is true. Maybe the person I am hasn't changed. Just the trappings. I won't be needing the ring. As you wish. You will do what you must. As will I. Goodbye, Hal Jordan. Ganthet disappears, traveling away in his energy form. Ganthet? There's really nothing left, is there? I thought about visiting my brothers, but they never even knew I was Green Lantern. Why burden them now? No, I'm nearing the end of the path. No detours now. Hal examines the monument. Coast City's legacy, eternal flames pointing toward the heavens. Isn't that how a life is judged? The legacy you leave behind? I turn it all over in my mind. From the moment a dying alien gave me a wondrous ring, I have been blessed. My life has been played out on a grand scale. I've done miraculous things. And I've done terrible things. I've committed sins I never dreamed possible. Did I fall into the abyss and lose myself? Or did I simply gaze into it for a time and turn away? In the end, does it really matter? Hal brings Kyle back to him.
Hal? Hal, what's... I was just...
I want you to go to them, Kyle. The whole of my life, the triumphs and the tragedies, have led me to this moment, this choice. I want you to go to them, Kyle. Go to them and tell them I'll help. The only choice I can live with. Finally. I am content.
The Final Night, Part 4, Emerald Dawn. Kyle returns to Earth after his first discussion with Hal. After only 4 days, it is already known as morning, the time when the sun doesn't rise. A cold reminder that a cosmic shadow has wrapped itself around Earth's star and is systematically consuming it. Some call these dark times the final night, the end of everything they know. And it is.
Even the oceans are freezing. Only one chance, one person who could have helped. But I couldn't convince Hal Jordan to save the world. I blew it. Some Green Lantern I turned out to be.
But there is a spark of hope that what was lost can still be regained. The Final Night. Kyle arrives over Metropolis. Brainiac 5 gives Lex Luthor and the heroes an update.
Those of you who arrived late, the sun is losing energy but not mass to the Sun Eater. This has resulted in its collapsing in on itself and becoming oblate, elliptical in layman's terms. The collapse is also generating tremendous heat, nature's way of healing it in a way. Unfortunately, that healing will culminate with the sun going nova in less than 2 hours. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and hopefully not a searing, incinerating one. Mr. Luthor, more familiar with available tech and resources than myself in this one instance, has...
Thank you, Brainiac 5, but I'm fairly certain I can explain my actions better than you. This is one of a 500,000 force field devices that I modified from our green friend's personal unit. They were assembled over the last 12 hours by the Flash, while other super speedsters made continuous supply runs. It was nothing, although I may never play the minute waltz in under 4 seconds again. Fascinating, Flash. Thank you for sharing that essential information. As I was saying, the units will be deployed around the sun. The device's interlinked force fields will contain most of the blast. I estimate 97%. I also believe that this strategy will trap enough of the Sun Eater to destroy it. Of course, a 500,000 force fields require more energy than we could ever generate on Earth, which is why we'll be tapping into the Nova itself to power them. Needless to say, timing is everything. The devices have already been loaded onto Dusk's spaceship, and its course preset. But shouldn't Dusk be leaving our solar system in case she has to warn another planet about the Sun Eater?
No, Superman. I've come to see an inherent light in Earth's people, one that is embodied and amplified by its heroes. I would be honored to stand or fall with all of you.
Yes, well, this mission could be fully automated, except that we know so little about the Sun Eater, thanks to the premature abort of our only probe by my brainy colleague, that someone will have to be on board to deal with the unexpected. I would be the ideal choice, of course, but I doubt the ship will survive, even if Earth does. Luckily, there's someone here who's already survived a close encounter with the sun.
Me? You mean, after everything I did and didn't do and tried to do, it comes down to me after all? Would have saved a lot of stress and mileage if I knew that yesterday. What is it Dorothy says in The Wizard of Oz about finding what you really need in your own backyard? I guess she's right. There's no place like home.
Kyle Rayner disappears as Hal summons him. Lantern?
Where'd he go?
I'm afraid we'll have to worry about that later, Cosmic Boy. Our first priority has to be replacing him and launching that ship.
It'll need to be one of us. There's no time to...
Which is why I say we go with Luthor's first choice. What are you prattling about, No! No, I won't get on that suicide ship! I didn't work this hard to be cremated on the edge of a million-mile inferno! I did this so I could live! Don't you understand? Perfectly. Your reaction's perfectly human, Luthor. I'll go. I always thought I would, even if I had to sneak on board to spare whoever was chosen. I've already lost one planet. I'm certainly not going to stand around and lose another, no matter what the cost. My mind's made up. But, holy moly, Superman, without your powers you won't survive any better than Mr. Luthor. The Nova should jumpstart my powers, Captain Marvel, same as it will the force fields. That's the plan I'm betting on, at least. I just need a few minutes alone, and then I'll be ready for takeoff.
Wow. My thoughts exactly, Pharaoh. I still can't believe I'm in the same room with him. Even where I come from, Superman's the measure of a true hero. It has nothing to do with powers, and everything to do with courage and heart.
Once alone, Superman writes a possibly final letter to Lois.
What's taking him so long?
There's still time to pilot the mission yourself, Luthor, if... Wait, ship's powering up. He must have slipped on board already. Clear the launch pad.
The ship launches. At least we won't have to waste time giving him a teary goodbye. Why has he locked out the comlink? He's no use to us if we can't communicate. Saturn Girl.
I'll establish a telepathic link with him, Mr. Luthor, but only because this mission is... By the rings! The pilot isn't...
What's going on? Who's on that ship?
I'd like to know that myself. Comlink override in 4 seconds. Simple as cold fusion. Huh? Oh. Hi. Pharaoh? You are really too brave for your own good. No, Miss Dusk, it's just that Superman means so much to so many people. I just couldn't let him do this. I know I'm not the Man of Steel, but I'm kind of one, and I'll do everything he would have. I won't fail. I'll make it. I've got to, because I promised to give Spark her Legion flight ring back.
Kids, huh? I'll fly after him and... No, we need to get me out there and bring him back. Alpha Centurion's in Hong Kong. His ship could...
I'll go. Might take a few seconds.
Greif, the course is locked in. There's nothing. Maybe I can do something. Hal Jordan, Parallax, appears before the heroes along with Kyle. I'm here to help. Hello, Hal. It's been a while. Not long enough. No matter how noble he acts, we all know what Parallax's true agenda is. He hasn't changed. That's right, Batman. I haven't. But if you don't want my help, just say. That isn't the case, Hal. There's a young boy out there about to go into orbit around the sun. If you could save him, maybe even contain the nova that's about to happen. Of course. But why stop there? After the nova, the sun will be considerably weaker. If I rekindle it to full strength, the resulting flooding would wipe out more light than the cold and snow already has. Hal displays the effect of the potential flooding. I could minimize that, even prevent it entirely. I could fix everything. You'd like that, wouldn't you? A chance to recreate the world to suit you. That's not how it works, Parallax. You're not God. Not the harsh God you believe in, I'm glad to say, Batman. You want me to leave the pain and suffering this disaster's brought on mankind? Fine. But I will heal the planet. I will restore its life and beauty. And that's all I'll do. On my oath. I'd say we can live with that. I always hoped you'd come back, Hal. Superman offers Hal his hand, but he does not take it. I'm not coming back, Superman. I'm just setting things right. That's all I ever wanted to do. He disappears in a burst of green light. Gone? Then let's focus on what's still here, people. The ship's in solar orbit, and releasing its cargo now. Data incoming. Damn! EM flux is off the scale. Energy building faster than estimated. Nova in 18.37 seconds. No time for the fields to be positioned.
Somebody better tell that boy to... Get out of there, Pharaoh. Ride the shockwave. You might still be able to... No, I'll armor up. I'll be okay. Can I turn the force field on manually? Maybe I can save some of Earth that way. There's got to be something I can...
A solar flare lashes out at Pharaoh's ship.
Saturn girl, can you hear me? Sorry I let everyone down. And sorry I didn't give Sparks back her Legion flight.
He is enveloped in the brilliant white light of the sun's flames.
Ring?
Pharaoh lies in the palm of Hal's hand as he stands gigantic in the sun. Can't have that, son. I know how important rings can be.
I'm I'm dead, aren't I? That's why those flames aren't moving?
Not at all. I guess you could say I hit the temporal pause button. A little trick I learned at the beginning of time.
Who are you? What are you going to do?
First, I'm going to send you home. And then... Pharaoh streaks to Earth in a green burst of energy. Then I can do anything I want. I know that's what they fear, at least. Batman, even Superman on some level, and everyone in between. But I took an oath a long time ago, and that oath taught me something none of them will ever understand. There are two ways to dispel the darkness. In brightest day, to shine a light. In darkest night, or to draw the darkness in. Parallax extends his arms and begins absorbing the Sun Eater into himself. No evil. Razor-edged blackness tears its way up my arm. I knew it'd be hell absorbing the Sun Eater, but it's all I can do to keep it from absorbing me. There's no going back. There never was. Not since the first day I said those words. No evil shall escape my sight. The Sun Eater is fully encased in a green energy bubble. I'd always done what I truly believed was right. At first, people called me a hero for it, and then a villain. As the memory of what I've done and been fades, I hope I will be seen. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power! In a different light. The Sun Eater vanishes along with Hal Jordan, Parallax, leaving the sun, earth, and moon as they were before it arrived.
Okay. I'm back on Earth, I guess. But what happened to that guy in the sun?
This is it! Temperature's soaring! It's leveling off? That's impossible!
I no longer believe anything is impossible, Mr. Luthor. The snow, it's evaporating?
And the sun's green, Nightwing. Me, I'm not complaining.
You feel it? Warming everything from the inside out. Re-energizing it. Making everything whole again. This isn't just light. It's life. And it's so pervasive. You can tell it isn't just happening here. It's got to be happening everywhere.
Way to go, Jordan. That'll teach that energy-eating amoeba to mess with the mean green machine.
He did it. I mean, I always thought he could, but he did it. I don't know how we'll ever thank him. I don't even know what to say when he gets here. I was monitoring his thoughts for the last few minutes, Green Lantern. I'm afraid it took everything he had to defeat the Sun Eater. Everything.
Heroes have literally won the day, but not without paying a tragic price. An anonymous source told WLEX that one metahuman ignored Mr. Luthor's non-intervention warning with fatal results. Superman finds Batman atop the Daily Planet. Beautiful, isn't it, Bruce? Seems like forever since I watched the sun rise. Yes, I know what you mean. Too bad Hal can't see it. I wish it could have been me instead, but at least he did the right thing. At least he redeemed himself in the end. Don't make a martyr out of a murderer, Superman. One shining moment doesn't redeem Parallax for what he did and tried to do. He admitted he hadn't changed, remember? People don't always notice when they've changed, Batman. I'll always think Hal died a hero. Too bad that isn't how he always lived. Nearly gleaming in the sunlight, the Man of Steel watches the Dark Knight disappear into the shadows. They are the world's finest heroes, and all the rest follow the lead of one or the other. They are as different as night and day, but that is what helps them guarantee the words that seem to hang in the new light. In brightest day, in darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. The end. Now, if you only came for the story of the final night, that tale is now over. But if you're following my Green Lantern stories and Hal Jordan's larger narrative, or just if you feel like honoring a fallen hero, please come along and attend the funeral of Hal Jordan, as seen here in Green Lantern 81. His light will burn forever. The heroes of the world, as well as Hal's friends and family, gather at a huge cathedral Kyle Rayner has made on the spot Coast City once stood, with his recently learned ability to form semi-permanent constructs of the green energy. Funeral for a hero. Kyle, a New York freelance artist, talks shop with the young starman Jack Knight, son of the original starman Ted Knight.
Yeah, I could find you Rockwell and Lendecker covers, but man, there are books full of it. You want cool? Check out Beckhoff and Collier's or Robert Fawcett. I know, I love all that stuff. I could sell you a load of clippings if you want them. Maybe I should visit your city if you have a lot. Sure, swing by. Just leave the costume and the craziness that goes with it at home. You got it, Jack.
His girlfriend, Donna Troy, finds him.
Hi, glad I found you before everything gets started. Me too. You look nice. Thanks. If you got a minute, I want you to meet a friend. Green Lantern, this is Nightwing. Good to finally come face to face with you. Donna and I go way back. So she said. Good to meet you. I'm going to head inside and let you two have a few minutes alone. Donna's quite a catch, Lantern. Make sure you take good care of her. Count on it. Seemed like a good guy. He's one of the best. I wanted to tell you how wonderful this is. The cathedral, I mean. I'm just trying to do right by Hal, that's all. And how are you doing? Well, it's tough to explain. I feel like I've lost someone close to me, but I didn't really know Hal at all. I feel this sense of loss, but I don't even have any memories of him to hold on to. I'm supposed to talk about Hal in there today, and I don't have any idea what to say. I wish I could just let John do it for me. He came with you, right? Yes, he was really happy to see how many people are attending. It's pretty amazing. All these heroes in one place.
So, what are you doing here?
I was invited. And you, Constantine?
Nah, just came to see the show.
And not just heroes. There's a separate service for Hal's family, but some of the others he was close to are here. I didn't know it was the last time I'd ever see him. Did he tell you, Carol? He didn't have to, Tom. A few of the former Green Lanterns that are still around showed up.
Never met him.
The best. And even a handful of the villains Hal fought.
He's really dead. It wasn't like this in the old days. These things didn't happen.
We better get inside. It's almost time.
Kyle approaches the podium with Donna Troy on his arm to begin the ceremony. While above, Batman, Nightwing, and Robin observe from a distance on a high balcony.
Batman? Why are we sitting with the rest of the mourners? I mean, you knew this Green Lantern, right?
I thought I did, Robin. Then he turned into someone else. I find it difficult to accept his actions, no matter what steps he took to redeem himself. We're here to honor his memory, and I will do so, but I doubt I'll ever be able to excuse what he did.
Hope the poor guy finally found some peace. Bruce, you see something?
No, I just had a feeling. They're starting.
Thank you all for coming. This is the second time I've been asked to preside over something like this. Even one of these funerals is too many. It's never easy to bury one of our own, but this time, it's especially hard. I knew Hal Jordan better than many, though not as well as some. I knew him well enough to be sure he'd think we were making too much of a fuss over his passing. That's the kind of man he was. Hal was many things to those of us gathered here. A comrade in arms, a friend, a lover. But he was a hero to all of us. There's no body to lay to rest, no tomb to erect. The best way we can honor Hal is to remember him. Those who were closest to him would like to share some of those memories.
I'm Guy Gardner. Maybe some of you don't know me. That's okay. Maybe some of you know me and don't like me. That's okay too. I don't think Hal liked me much either. I wasn't his idea of what a hero should be, and I let him know he wasn't my ideal. I was always riding him for being too much of a straight arrow. We were real different, Hal and me. I did my own thing, but deep down, I knew Hal was the model. He was an example for me and everybody else in this room. I never told him any of this stuff when he was alive. Guess that's the way it usually is with the people who are important to you. The things that matter are left unsaid. So, I'm saying them now. Hal Jordan was the best Green Lantern, the best hero any of us can hope to be. That's all I got to say.
Great job, Guy. For those of you who don't know me, my name is John Stewart. I was a Green Lantern. In a very literal way, I'm standing here because of Hal Jordan. A long time ago, I was an angry young man, an out-of-work architect with more attitude than sense. Then I was chosen to be a Green Lantern, and Hal was my teacher. But he taught me more than how to be a hero. I learned how to temper that side of myself, how to be more at peace, and I became a better person for it. I can honestly say I don't know what would have happened to me if Hal hadn't come along and handed me that ring. It's very possible Hal saved my life. That's who he was, what he did. He always put others before himself. So Hal's sacrifice didn't surprise me. Saving the world is the purest expression of everything Hal was about. Hal lost his way toward the end, so much so that many of you had to oppose him. I've had failures of my own. Which of us hasn't? If you want to believe Hal redeemed himself by reigniting the sun, that's fine. But I believe Hal simply remained true to himself. He proved he never stopped being the hero we knew he was. And that's how he should be remembered. Thank you. Dinah?
I'm not really the one who should be talking to you. The man who should be up here in front of you, the man who knew Hal better than any of us, is Oliver Queen. But Ollie's not with us anymore. They were quite a pair, the Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer of our crowd, which I guess makes me Becky Thatcher, just along for the ride. They were a rare breed, both of them. They were heroes. No matter what else they did, what other paths their lives took, they were heroes. And now, they're gone. I doubt we'll see their like again. Ollie and Hal are finally reunited, Huck and Tom watching this from somewhere, and having a good laugh over all the pomp and circumstance. That's how I'll always think of them. As the great friends they were, my Uncle Barry and Hal were heroes of a different age, and they had a connection like few others. So it seemed somehow fitting, or maybe destined, that they both sacrificed themselves for the good of the world. I felt an incredible sense of loss when Barry died, this all-consuming void in my life. And to this day, I still miss him. We're all missing Hal right now. But it gets better, little by little, day by day. The hurting stops. Maybe this sounds ironic coming from someone who can stretch seconds into hours, but time does heal all wounds. Even a wound as deep as this one. I feel Hal's death more personally than most of you here, because I knew the man he was under the mask. Our romance ebbed and flowed over the years. We had good times and bad. We were apart as much as we were together. But through it all, I always knew that in his heart, Hal was true to me. With his final act, Hal proved he was true to all of us. I'll love him always, and cherish the memory of him. And the rest of us are left behind. Pick up the pieces and carry on without him. Carol, I'm sorry for your loss. Thank you. I don't have anything prepared really, so this is just from the heart. Maybe you've been away for a while. Maybe you're wondering why me. Why am I speaking at Hal's funeral? And tell you the truth, I asked myself the same question. I didn't know him very well, not as well as a lot of you sitting out there. But I'm carrying on his legacy. At least I'm trying to. I didn't go looking to be Green Lantern. It was just something that happened. Luck, if you want to call it that. I'm not trying to replace Hal. I know I never can. I also know there will never be another like him. But now I'm wearing the ring. It's so much more important to me than it was when it was first given to me. Now I understand what it means. It's not only what I can do with it, the good I can accomplish. It's also the tradition and the standard Hal set. Circumstances put Hal and me at odds for the most part, and I regret that. I didn't have the good fortune many of you had. I didn't know Hal as a friend. And even though I'd like to learn more about Hal, I know enough to say I'm very proud to carry on the name Green Lantern. Hal made the ultimate sacrifice. I know he'll be remembered as the ultimate hero. Because of Hal Jordan.
Kyle fires a beam of green energy from his ring.
We can all celebrate a new dawn.
It opens up the ceiling of the cathedral, letting the sun shine in on the assembled mourners as the entire structure melts away.
Alan Scott was Green Lantern before Hal and I were even born. Alan wanted to say something.
I thought I might be able to lend a little perspective to this loss. I've been lucky. I was given another chance at youth, another incarnation. I might not look much older than my daughter, but I've been around a long time. I speak from experience when I say, things change. The world moves on, as it should. It's our memories that allow us to keep the past close and dear. We remember Hal with these flames. Alan summons his green flame, powered by the magic of the Starheart rather than the Oean energy of the lanterns. Just as we built a monument to assure Coast City's memory burns eternal. He flies up to the eternal flame of the monument and merges them, turning the eternal flame green. Now Hal and the city that meant so much to him can be united forevermore. Swamp Thing, we're ready.
Where there was desolation, let there be green.
Swamp Thing invites the plant life of the earth to fill the crater left by Coast City, causing grass and flowers to spring instantly from the ground.
Cool.
Forming a beautiful and lush garden surrounding a large Green Lantern symbol. Here, where Coast City once stood, there will always be an Eden. This natural splendor is a living tribute to the people who died here, and to the hero who devoted himself to them. Hal gave his life in the line of duty. We, all of us here, have a duty to see that his memory is always preserved. Green Lantern?
Yes.
Kyle creates a semi-permanent emerald statue of Hal Jordan in his prime, the greatest Green Lantern there ever was. At its base, a plaque reads, "No evil escaped his sight."
Maybe I'll never understand what happened to Hal, but I can at least find it in my heart to forgive him. Rest in peace, Hal Jordan.